Hello everyone and welcome back to Tennis Time. What a fantastic first week of the French Open we've had so far. What I would like to do in this video is to look back at this first week, the highlights, the most important events we've had, and I also want to look ahead of what's to come, starting with the fourth round, week 2 of the French Open. Alright, so let's dig in. If we just take a look at the first 8 seeds, as you can see on the screen, seeded 1 to 8, Djokovic, Medvedev, Nadal, Thiem, Tsitsipas, Zverev, Rublev and Federer. All these 8 players were in action. 2 of them faltered in the first round already. The first was Thiem, the second one was Rublev. Thiem lost to Pablo Andujar. Rublev lost to Jan-Lennart Struff. So these were the big upsets of the first round. I'm going to talk about them more in depth later on. But as you can see, all the other 6 players remaining in the draw, going through and being now in the fourth round. Let's revisit quickly my picks from the beginning of the tournament. So I thought the first round matches to watch: Musetti against Goffin. Musetti, I've picked him as the danger player in this section. That has come through. Musetti has beaten Goffin pretty convincingly in straight sets in the first round, and is now going to play Djokovic in the fourth round. At the time I was recording the preview, we didn't know who Federer is going to play. It turned out to be Denis Istomin. That was a great first round match. Good to see Federer playing back so well. What I anticipated was we would see a Federer-Berrettini fourth round. That did happen. It remains to be seen whether Federer is going to take the court and play Berrettini, but we do have this fourth round clash in theory. What remains to be seen if we are going to see Federer play, and if we're going to really have a Djokovic-Federer quarterfinal. That would be simply fantastic. So the next section of the draw, I thought matches that were interesting in the first round. Nadal against Popyrin. It turned out to be a pretty good match, especially in the third set where Popyrin was having set points on his own serve, but Nadal somehow managed to turn it around, or Popyrin squandered his opportunities. Anyhow you want to look at it. The Gaston-Gasquet match was not a particularly spectacular one as I expected, but I expected the Rublev-Struff match to be a good one, and it turned out to be a great one. I've seen that match actually, and Struff played really well in the first set. Rublev picked up the pace in the second. It looked like for a long time that Rublev is going to win that second set. He was a break ahead, but lost the break advantage in the end and lost that second set in the tiebreak. He made a really big effort to come back in sets 3 and 4, which he managed to do, but Struff was just too strong in the fifth and has upset Rublev. So the Nadal-Gaston match did not happen. We had instead the Nadal-Gasquet match. Nadal was pretty dominant. Something I anticipated for the fourth round that did happen, the Nadal-Sinner match. Obviously in the quarters, if Nadal beats Sinner, we're not gonna have Rublev, it's going to be somebody else. But I thought the danger players were in this section. Karatsev and Basilashvili both lost earlier than expected. Basilashvili lost actually to Carlos Alcaraz, the 18-year-old young fired-up Spaniard. Reminds me a little bit from his way of being around the court at Nadal. His playing style is quite different, but his attitude and his fire is very much reminiscent of Nadal of young. So the other section of the draw, the third quarter, I anticipated a tough match for Thiem in Andujar, but I thought he would go through. The reasoning why I thought Andujar would be a really dangerous opponent for Thiem in the first round was the performances prior to the French Open, where he's beaten Roger Federer on his comeback in Geneva. I did talk about that in length in my previous video, so if you like this content, you can check that out as well. And while I'm saying this, reminds me to tell you that please, if you find something useful or good in these videos, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. So, as I said, I thought Andujar would be a dangerous opponent to Thiem, especially having the confidence of having beaten Federer recently. The first two sets were tough, so Thiem didn't have tough first two sets, but he has come through, so it looked like the experience and prowess of Thiem would take him through. But the third, fourth and fifth sets all were close, but somehow Andujar has just managed to find that extra motivation and extra inspiration to upset Thiem. Thiem, he was competing, so he was in the match. He's done many things right, but at the same time, statistics were shown on the screen that his ground strokes were a little bit slower than, for instance, in 2019. So it seems that maybe his fitness level, the power, has not entirely returned. Also not sure about his... I mean, he's motivated, but he doesn't seem to have that confidence and that real belief that he's the player to beat. So I'm not sure where he's going to go from here, but it's definitely going to be a good experience for him. A loss which teaches him potentially what to do differently and how to go about his game if he plays the grass season, and if not, how to go about to play the remainder of the hardcourt season after Wimbledon is finished. So danger players I've picked here were Nishikori and Davidovich Fokina, and this actually paid off to pick both, because both are in the fourth round. Nishikori is going to play Zverev next. That's going to be difficult. He's played him twice in this clay court season, once in Rome and before that in Madrid. He took off a set of Zverev in Rome but lost both matches, and Davidovich Fokina has made a great upset by beating Kasper Ruud. And yeah, he's in the fourth round, as I said as well. Last section of the draw. I thought Dimitrov-Giron would be interesting, and I've given Giron a chance. Dimitrov has given up with injury, so Giron went through. I thought the Bublik Medvedev would be interesting in the first round, Bublik being a very unpredictable player, and with a potential upset that did not happen. Medvedev played really well, and he continued to play just as well in the next rounds. I thought Garin was a dangerous guy in this section of the draw, which has paid off. He has gone through and he is in the fourth round, so he's going to play Medvedev next. That's happening actually today on Sunday, the day I'm recording this. So I think that's going to be a really interesting and good match to watch. Garin had tough matches up until now, especially the second round, where he had to beat McDonald. He came back from 2 sets to love done, so I wonder how fit he's going to be, Garin. But I hope he will be recovered and we're going to have a good competitive match. So what I predicted last Sunday, or before the draw, when the draw came out, the potential Djokovic-Nadal semi-final is still on. The potential Tsitsipas against Ruud, Zverev or Thiem is on, in the sense that Zverev is the only one of these three who is still in the draw. So I was feeling a little bit unsure about who is going to come through this section of the draw. So I think in retrospect I was pretty much right. Still remains to be seen if Zverev can beat Nishikori and if he's going to make that quarterfinal. So if we look at the first round highlights, basically there were so many. So I just tried to pick a few interesting topics, and as you can see, there are many big events happening in the first round. So the biggest story probably was the fact that Thiem has lost to Andujar, as I talked about that before. Another scary story was Zverev went in an hour and 15 minutes, 2-0 down against Oscar Otte, but he managed to recover and he won in 5 sets. Sinner had a really difficult match against Pierre-Hugues Herbert in the first round. He comes through in 5 sets. It was really good to see Gaël Monfils back at the French Open in front of a crowd. He did play in last October with a non-crowd. He was really flat. He wasn't feeling well. He wasn't feeling particularly well in this match either, especially in the second, third set and 4 sets. You could see he was dead tired, or something was definitely wrong with him. But if you've been watching tennis for a long time, you know that Monfils really loves to play at the French Open. He loves to feed off the energy of the crowd. And he was playing on long land, and there was some crowd, and the crowd really lifted him and helped him. So that reminded me of French Open of old, which was definitely a very, very good and pleasant thing to see. Unfortunately, he went out in the second round, but that win against Albert Ramos Vignolas, a really good clay court player, also a winner of the Estoril Open this year, I think that has to give him some confidence, and I hope he will do. He will do well physically and mentally as well later on. So another big story, the one I've talked about already, Struff beating Rublev in 5 sets. Another big 5-setter, and again, we had quite a lot of matches in this first round where somebody has come back from 2-0 down. It doesn't really happen too often, and the only place where this can happen is at a Grand Slam. So I'm really fascinated to have such good matches at the French Open so far. If the second week is going to be anything like the first week, we are going to be in for a treat. So Botic van de Zandschulp beats Hurkacz in the first round. He was also 2-0 down, but he's come back and he's beaten Hurkacz, the Miami winner of this year. Another match where somebody comes back from 2-0 down was Stevie Johnson. He's beaten Tiafoe. This was not coming back from 2-0 down, but it was a titanic battle. Tommy Paul beats Chris O'Connell. Tommy Paul wins the first 2 sets, Chris O'Connell the next 2, and then we had a 10-8 for Tommy Paul in the 5th. As we know, the French Open is the only remaining Grand Slam where we have no tiebreak whatsoever in the 5th set. So up until we don't have 2 games of a difference, we don't have a winner. So Tommy Paul beats Chris O'Connell 10-8 in the 5th. And definitely a story to talk about was Federer coming back, playing Istomin and winning his first round match in a very convincing fashion, using a lot of variety and dispatching Denis Istomin in 1 hour and 30 minutes. So highlights of round 2. I think Federer beating Cilic was a really good one. We had a little bit of towel controversy over there. Federer apparently being slow in going to the towel and getting back to receive the serve from Cilic. Cilic was slow in the sense that he was bouncing the ball, 12, 15, 20 times before serving. Federer felt a little bit rushed, so there was a lot of talk about it, but in the end, even though he lost the second set, he's done well in the third and the fourth, playing a crucial tiebreaker in the third, so coming through in style. Gives me and probably Federer himself a lot of confidence that he can really do well in his next rounds. Another interesting story and surprising story, somewhat, Kohlschreiber beating Karatsev in 4 sets. Nishikori has beaten Khachanov in 5. He was 2-1 down, came back and won. And Nishikori also had a 5-setter first round, so playing a lot of tennis, but coming through in the end. Davidovich Fokina going far in the tournament, beating Botic van de Zandschulp in 5 sets, and Stevie Johnson beating Monteiro again in 5 sets. So Stevie Johnson again a 5-setter after the first round 5-setter. Probably the most dramatic second round match was between Garin and McDonald, where McDonald was 2 sets to love up, and Garin has managed to come all the way back and has beaten McDonald in 4 hours and 14 minutes. Third round highlights: Musetti beating Cecchinato in 5 sets, and by that he sets up a clash against Djokovic. That's going to be really interesting to see how the 19-year-old young Musetti is going to fare against Djokovic. One of the toughest third round matches, Federer playing the night match against Dominik Köpfer, playing 3 hours and 35 minutes. Federer probably not at his very best, but managing his energy levels really well, and playing well in the third and the fourth sets where it really mattered. It will be interesting to see if he is going to play against Berrettini in that fourth round. That depends how he feels, if he can recover. He also has something to say about that in the press conference. Take a listen to this.
Yes, I mean, it's fun in some ways, not knowing, like in 17 when I came back, or when nobody really knows, even myself doesn't know what is possible, so it's got a fun angle, but I would prefer it differently. I prefer to be in Rafa's or Novak's shoes right now, where they're like, I'm feeling good, if I'm playing well, I'm winning. So I don't have that feeling right now. So for me, it's these are all stepping stones, right, to something that is really important to me. It's the season, and it's the comeback, and I need matches like these. We go through these matches, we analyze them highly and look on what's next, and we'll do the same tonight and tomorrow latest, because I need to decide if I keep on playing or not, or is it not too much risk at this moment to keep on pushing, or is this just the perfect way to just take a rest, because I don't have the week in between here and Halle like normal, to see like what's best now if you count back from Wimbledon and so forth. So it's just a lot going on, but having a match like this, knowing I could have probably played a fifth set, but not knowing how I will wake up tomorrow is interesting, to say the least. So.
One of the other great stories, Sinner sets up a clash against Nadal in the fourth round. Nadal has beaten Norrie. Norrie has tried a similar tactic, just like Cilic, trying to rush Nadal on the return. Nadal reacted quite well to that. That's what he had to say about it. Take a listen to this.
Cam seemed unhappy at the pace that you were playing at. And he talked to the umpire about it. And at one stage, it looked like the umpire was speaking to you. Can you explain how you saw that from your side?
Well, I saw that very clear. No, we don't have ball boys that that the towel is very far, and he had the problem after the game. I was not taking the towel very often, but between games, I think I need to take the towel, and I think I deserve to take the towel between games. So it's nothing very significant, something that everybody does. Sometimes I think he was trying to speed up the situations to put some pressure. He's free to do it. I don't think I did anything bad. I didn't complain at all when he was throwing his ball bad for 20 times, and I didn't know when he gonna serve. I didn't complain at all during the whole match, so I don't think he has to complain about the other stuff. No, the umpire just told me that I need to be quicker because he was ready. But okay, if he wants to put that pressure, I just accept it. I try to be a little bit quicker. I try to be always respectful and nice to the umpire, to him, and I think he was too. Just he was playing his cards, and that's it.
Another story we're going to have, Struff playing Schwartzman in the fourth round. Struff has played a really good tournament so far, not just beating Rublev in the first round, backing that up, beating the young up-and-coming sensation Carlos Alcaraz. And probably one of the biggest third round encounters, Davidovich Fokina beating Casper Ruud in 5 sets. Casper Ruud has won 15 more points during the entire encounter, but Davidovich Fokina winning the more tight sets and the most important moments of the match, so that's why he's the winner. Okay, so this is the 4th round lineup. We have Djokovic against Musetti, Berrettini against Federer. As I said, if Federer is going to play, Nadal, Sinner, Schwartzman, Struff. So this is happening on Monday. And today on Sunday we have Zverev playing Nishikori, Davidovich Fokina against Derbonis, Tsitsipas, Pablo Carreño Busta, and Garin Medvedev. So the ones I'm really watching out for is the Garin Medvedev encounter. I think that can be a fascinating one. But naturally all the others will be definitely interesting as well. I'm really a bit undecided on the Struff-Schwartzman one. I did not expect Schwartzman to play as well at the French Open as he did so far. Maybe he didn't have the toughest of opponents, but nonetheless he did do well and he has not lost a set so far. Struff playing really fantastic tennis and really good form. So interesting to see how these two are going to clash. Nadal Sinner, I think Sinner is a very dangerous opponent, really so strong on the forehand, on the backhand, on both wings. He can move well. It will be difficult for Nadal. It's going to be a rematch of last year's quarterfinals between Nadal and Sinner. Sinner was serving there for the first set, did not win it in the end, lost in a tiebreak. I think it's going to be tight, but I think Nadal is going to come through in 3 or 4 sets. Djokovic, Musetti, I have to play. I have to pick Djokovic here, but Musetti is definitely a really good prospect. And I really hope the Berrettini-Federer match is going to happen. Alright, so let me know your thoughts down below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and enjoy the French Open. Bye bye.